We have a handful of things, or actually I think 2 handfuls of things, that if we didn't have in our RV, we would not be living a good life.
Yeah, and we're not talking things like hoses, sewer hoses, water hoses, electrical cords. We're not talking about that kind of stuff.
Yeah, everybody needs that. I mean, the RV wouldn't function without that. What we're talking about are things that make our RV life work. And without them, it may not work as well.
It wouldn't be pretty.
No, it wouldn't be pretty, exactly.
Here are 10 things that not only make our RV life easier, but make us feel like we're living a full life or not living without by being full-time out on the road.
So we're going to start right here.
Here.
And is this number 1 and this number 2, or reverse?
I think you can switch it, number 1 and number 2. Number 1 is comfortable chairs.
We went how many months?
The
4
first
5
4 or
months?
5 months.
And we had these chairs we brought from the house. They were outside camping chairs. They were okay, but every time we sat in them, we're like, this is not comfortable.
They were not comfortable.
And I don't think we spent as much time or as long a time outside as if we had comfortable chairs.
No, and I had the idea of the zero gravity chairs because that's what everybody else has.
And then we saw them at Costco, and we almost bought them, and something told us not to. And so we kept sitting in our horribly uncomfortable chairs. Now, I look back now and it's like, why in the world did it take us this long? There was one good reason why it took us this long.
Because we had to find these.
Exactly. These chairs were waiting for us at Camping World in Chattanooga, but we had no idea until we actually met them at Camping World in Chattanooga.
And sat in them.
Yeah. I sat in this thing once and I knew, I'm like, this is mine. And strangely, they only had 2 left.
Yep, exactly.
And they had our names on it.
So not only are comfortable camp chairs important, but I would say what's even more important is take your time and find your camp chair. That means sitting your butt in a lot of different chairs. Maybe the zero gravity chairs are for you. They weren't for us, but sit your butt in a lot of chairs to find the right chair. Even if that means bugging your neighbor across the way who looks like he has comfortable...
Try your chair
Yeah, who looks like they have comfortable chairs. Try a lot of chairs and buy the right one for you. And that brings us to our next most recent purchase, and that is our fire bowl.
Another thing, 8 months, just about 8 months we went without a fire bowl. And we had fires. We built fires with firewood, which is great. I love real wood fires.
Yeah, don't get us wrong. We love wood fires, and I especially love cooking over a wood fire. But wood was killing us. It was getting expensive, $8, $9, $10 a bundle, and you could go through easily 3 bundles in a night. And
then it would take time to light it. And then if we just wanted to sit outside maybe for an hour or so, it would be like, gotta get the fire started. And so this is so much better. So this takes the place of the fire when we don't want a fire. Right. So every night we sit outside. We, it might not be half an hour or so, but we sit out here, put this on, and it's so wonderful. And we're gonna put the links to everything that we talk about in the description below so you can find them. But I'm in love with this. Is this number 3, or does this go with this? Because we didn't talk about them.
I think these go with the chairs.
Yeah. These are cushioned ottomans. Got them at Camping World, same time we got the chairs. These are a game changer.
Absolutely.
When you're sitting out here, because ottomans are great, but if they don't have some cushion to them, they're obviously they're stiff and somewhat uncomfortable. So basically the combination here.
It's the set.
Yeah, it's the set. You got to have the set.
And they fold up into just about nothing, so they don't take up a lot of space and they're very lightweight.
Yeah, so I'll just be here if you need me.
So now let's talk about electronic. They really can make your life a lot easier.
And I know, I might be wrong, but
number 1?
Yeah, I think I know the number 1.
Okay, what is it?
He's right up there, 20-something feet above the roof.
Yep, it's Starlink.
Definitely Starlink. Without Starlink,
we couldn't do this.
We couldn't work.
Yeah.
We couldn't, well, I mean, we could. We have SIM cards, but Dishy has been such an amazing backup. The one thing we really couldn't do without going over every month is stream.
Yeah.
And we do a lot of streaming.
Starlink, aka Dishy, has been a game changer for us.
Oh, definitely. Highly, highly recommend it. Worth the money. And really, if you look at what we paid for this and what we're paying for the other internet, it's really not that expensive.
Yeah, no, I would say the caveat to Starlink is it's not our only internet. And I don't know, if you're working remotely on the road, it probably shouldn't be your only internet as well. But if you're streaming or just using internet for email and things like that, it's amazing.
It is, and it'll never be our only because you never know. We could be obstructed. Luckily here you see all the trees in the background. We have a window to the sky, but we could have been in a site over or a site there and not had a window to the sky, and we wouldn't be able to use it. So it's still too iffy right now, but boy, he is so important.
So one of the next things on the list is something that everybody puts on a top 10 essentials list
definitely.
for sure, and that is a TPMS system. And you don't know until you get into a situation where you need it, but they are really important with the warning that they don't always give you the warning. And you can check this video out right here.
Of the type of warning they don't give you.
Yeah, where we lost the tread on our tire, but the tire did not blow. And TPS didn't alert us of that because there was no loss in pressure and the temperature of the tire hadn't started going up yet. So thank goodness for our fellow truckers out on the road.
Oh, yeah.
That let us know almost immediately when our tread came off, probably because he ran over it or it almost hit him.
That could be.
But,
it's on the windshield. It's like, oh.
But a TPMS system definitely should be on everybody's list just for the peace of mind of having it there. And again, we recommend a TPS system that does both pressure and temperature of your tires, not only your truck tires, but your trailer tires as well. The next thing I would probably consider a want more than a need, but you and I are both kind of weather geeks, so.
But that it has two components to it, so I would call one a want and one a need.
Yeah, and that is our Crosse weather station. Now, not only do we love that because it gives us the weather, AccuWeather forecast, it's connected through the internet to AccuWeather. We also have a weather station where it tells us what's going on, but the game changer and the reason we got the Crosse weather system was this right here, which is the water sensor feature that the Crosse has. And this goes in our wet bay, and the reason it's essential is because this little guy right here has saved us twice in the first 8 months that we've been on the road from a flooded basement.
And can you buy, we only have one, can you buy extras of those?
I believe you can buy up to 5 of these.
We should really get those for under the sinks
under
and
your
things like that.
sinks.
We don't
And
have
so
that.
There are a number of systems out there. I believe the Ring alarm system has water sensors. There are some other things out there that have water sensors, but we really wanted a weather station, and we figured what better thing to do than combine those two features right into one system.
Because who doesn't want to know what the weather is right here at your rig? You get the wind, you get the temperature, you get the humidity. We're a little obsessed with humidity right now because we're in the southeast. And it's fascinating to see that, oh, the humidity is 20% lower inside the rig than it is outside the rig. We're just weather geeks. We love that. Yeah, we have phones. We can pull up AccuWeather, but it's nice to have the panel and have all the information, and the fact that we get the water sensors. That's just a plus bonus. The next thing we cannot live without is our Blu Technologies water system. It is phenomenal, game changer when it comes to the taste and smell of water. I think for the first 3 months, we had just the whole rig filter.
The one that everybody gets, the little single canister.
That's in the wet bay there, and the water kept reminding me of when I grew up with well water, not good well water, and I'm like, okay, I can handle this. But no, not for long term. Now, water doesn't taste like anything, which is what it should be.
Yep.
And I feel better knowing that we're protecting ourselves from whatever is in the water at every park that we go to. Not the park's fault, it's just the nature of the beast, going from place to place, water to water.
And we've discovered some really inconsistent, nasty water in parks we've been in. We've been in parks where the water smelled. We've been in parks where the water was discolored.
Yes.
We've been in parks where the water was great.
Yeah,
and so what I think
it's a hit or miss.
Yeah, I think what the Blu Technology system does, and we've got both the filter and the water softener, we have the full system. I think what it does is it levels the playing field. No matter what kind of water you're pulling into at a campsite, like it said, it makes the water taste like nothing, so it levels the playing field no matter what you encounter.
One of my biggest concerns when we were planning our full-time RV life was the RV bed. It's like we were sleeping on a Tempur-Pedic in our house, and if you know that brand, that's a pretty good bed. I wish I could say I was like 27 years old and didn't care. I'll sleep on a board, but
but that's not
that's the way it is. We need a comfortable bed. And so I had devised this system because I wasn't going to go out and buy a new mattress because the mattress came with it, and I didn't even know at that point what mattress to get. So I got a 2-inch memory foam cover, and then I went with the Beddy's bedding system. And I had a feeling that would be good enough, and if it wasn't, I could work from there. To our surprise, it was phenomenal.
The Beddy's is a game changer.
Yeah, Beddy's is a game changer. You know, the 2-inch memory foam is great too, but the Beddy's is just makes everything so comfortable and just cozy, and it's so easy to make.
Before Beddy's, I had no idea what Minky was. I now know what Minky is.
I had no idea either, but Minky's my new best friend. I love Minky. And if you want to know more about Beddy's, we did a video not too long ago all about it. I was just gushing all over the place because I just absolutely love our Beddy's. And so now our bed is as comfortable, actually more comfortable than the
bed we had before.
Yeah, in the house. And so, you know, can you imagine you're full timing in a rig and you go to bed every night and you're uncomfortable? If you don't think about those little things, those are things you really, I feel, should think about those when you're considering this lifestyle, because you want to live as close as you did to in your house, assuming that you were happy in your house. But you know, you probably were. But yeah, Beddy's for the win.
So since we're on the topic of the bedroom, I want to bring up our bench at the end of our bed, and it's something that seems so inconsequential.
Yeah, but it's important. It's where do you sit down to put your shoes on? Yeah, you can sit on the bed. That would work. But where do you put your clothes if you're not ready to put them in the closet or put them in the laundry?
Where do you store your shoes?
And yes, and the one we have has 2 shelves underneath it. And so Rich has one shelf for his shoes, and I have a shelf for my shoes. And these are the shoes that we use, you know, all the time. That way we don't have to go in the closet or fill up, you know, the floor or have to buy another rack for the closet. I got the bottom shelf. I kind of chose that first. So I just kind of kick my shoes off and push them into the shelf. I don't even have to bend over. So that might be considered a little lazy, but you know, I like that convenience. So another, what could appear to be an inconsequential thing is our spice rack. When we were in the house, we had a pantry door. The entire inside of the door had a rack from top to bottom. It was full of spices. You know that we cook a lot. We have a lot of spices. I looked at that as we were planning this trip, and I'm like, what in the world am I going to do? How am I going to, you know, sort my spices, find my spices? And I'm like, oh, I'll just put them in a drawer. And then I thought, well, every time I open that drawer, I'm going to have to look through all the spices to find the one that I want. So I did research on Amazon, and I found this amazing spice rack that holds, I think, 27 spices. It's very narrow, low profile, fits right up against the wall in one of our slides. And for me, it is a kitchen game changer. I just grab my spices, I use them, I put them back. This rack comes with labels that you can, you put them all together, you put the label on, you fill up your jar, it all comes together. And so I've got it nice and organized and alphabetized. Again, this is another thing when you're thinking about living full-time in an RV, you've got to really, we say this all the time, put yourself in the rig, in your mind, you know, think about how you're going to live, visualize how you're going to live. And I was visualizing myself in the kitchen cooking, and the spice rack, that I had to have a spice rack or some solution. So I'm very happy with it.
And since we're on the topic of the kitchen, I think the one thing that really makes your life easier, well, it's really 2 things, but we'll wrap it into one. And that's the Blackstone griddle, which allows you to cook outside and kind of, we cook burgers on it, things that would get our kitchen greasy, smoky, greasy, and just increase the heat in the kitchen. As well as the stainless steel table that I put the Blackstone on. Not only do we put the Blackstone on a stainless steel table, but we also put our grill on a stainless steel table, which makes all the difference in the world because it's super easy cleanup. Number 1, the table's super sturdy. It can hold a lot of weight. And number 2, it is easy cleanup. You can hose it down, you can degrease it, you can do whatever you want with it. For sure, if you don't own the Blackstone griddle, do yourself a favor and get a Blackstone and get yourself a stainless steel table to put it on.
And our stainless steel table, and we don't use it all the time, even has that shelf that goes at the bottom, so it's even more multi-purpose. So there you go. There's our 10 items that make our RV life work. Now your 10 items are probably going to be much different, maybe a little similar or whatever, but the whole point is visualize how you're going to live in this lifestyle and find your 10 items. And if you don't get them the day you move in, don't worry about it. Like we said, right? We waited quite a while on the chairs, and we didn't pick up, some of these things till later. And
when you head out on the road, you might not know what your top 10 things are until you're actually living out on the road. So definitely don't feel like you have to get everything the day you leave.
no, and I'm happy with the things that I was able to visualize before I got in. But really, think about it. On that list, oh my, there's only 2-3 things on that list that we got before we left.
So tell us in the comments, what are one of your items that you find essential to your RV life, especially if they differ from ours. We'd love to hear about it.
Yeah, what makes your life easier because you decided to get X? Thanks so much for watching. If you haven't subscribed, go ahead and do that, please. We would really appreciate it. And if you like this video, give us a thumbs up. And until next time, happy exploring.
Okay, you want to bring us in on the water filter? On the water system?
Do you see all these bugs flying around?
I do see all the bugs
Where'd they come? We've never had those since we've been here. A bug zapper is going to be on the list here soon.